What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Somebody already peeped. St. Just says, "Uh-oh, Z with the custom intro. Let's go." Shout out to Louis. Shout out to Red Pill Sleeper Cell for the intro, the custom intro. You know, thanks for the contribution. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. So we're gonna just speak about some stuff. I have some random stuff I want to cover. I was trying to get something else done for you guys, and it didn't work out. So yeah, there's that. Um, but there's some things I want to kind of go over. So let's get underway. Um, Adrix hit me something in my email a little while ago, and I just got to it. Don't worry, Cyrus, I didn't forget about you. Shout out to Cyrus Burke. Um, and we're going to go over that. There's something else I want to go over. There's something else I want to go over. But I guess we'll start off. Which one do we want to start off with first? Let's start off with the heaviness first. Let's start off with the heaviness first. Maybe we get a little bit lighter um later. Okay, here we go, everyone. Actually, before we do that, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Before we get struck, right? Before we get a strike, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. All right, everyone, here we go.
So I saw an article today, and it said that over 300,000 black women have left the workforce over the last 3 months. And that sounded absolutely insane to me. If it doesn't sound crazy to you, what really made it crazier was when you look into the article, it said that we're not leaving by choice, right? We're getting laid off, pushed out, or having to navigate through crazy trade-offs. Basically, they're twisting our arms. So I have a question for all the women that look like me, all the black women that see this. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Because stuff is crazy. I feel like we honestly got to have each other's backs. I mean, I know how I'm feeling about this as someone who's been affected by unemployment over the last year, and I think they're calling it long-term employment now. That's the official term. You go through many emotions, you have many thoughts. But my thing is, we go through so much. This is just one little piece out of all the things that as black women we have had to go through within not only the last year, but just life in general, right? And it's crazy that this number is just growing. So I wanted to get on here and just see how y'all are doing. Just to check in, see how y'all are doing, see how we can help each other if there's any way. And yeah, send my blessings.
Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope your day is going well. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Now, this 300,000 job loss of black women has been out there for a while, and I've been listening to different creators speak on it. And one or two of these black male podcasters, these retired red pill manosphere types, have gloated over it, that 300,000 black women lost their jobs, as if that was some kind of punishment for black women for being black women. But I believe that there is a correlation between the 92% and the 300,000 job loss. Now, we know in this present administration, the chief executive officer of this administration is a vindictive person. And it has been highly publicized that 92% of Black American women voted for Kamala Harris. And so I think that has something to do with it. It is also the case that way back as early as the 1980s, people like Republicans like Newt Gingrich realized that up in the Washington, D.C. area, Prince George's County is one of the most affluent Black areas in the country, and many of them worked for the federal government. So that's always been a target. So 300,000 Black women losing their jobs is startling, it's shocking. But I don't know that it should be surprising given the current environment that we live in. Well, this administration is going to run its course. I believe that Black women are resilient and Black women are resourceful. And this might be an opportunity to open a business or do something new or be retrained to do something. It is an inconvenience in your life when something like this happens. It is a blow to the Black American community and the Black American family when 300,000 people are intentionally out of work. But the more creative we are in this environment, the better off we will be. There are still services that people need. And I just think you really have to be creative. We have to continue to lift each other up. And we would hope that the Black church would be of some help. But, experience has shown us that the Black church, for the most part, just operates as the Black church. I'm not sure how effective the Black church is in ministering to people and of being of help in situations like this. But we are going to have to start pooling our money together and building networks so we can be more self-sustaining in this environment. Here is another perspective on what is going on, and it speaks to why there is this attack on Black women.
Black women are under attack for being the most educated demographic in the country. They are being punished and penalized for prioritizing their education and using that education to pull themselves out of poverty, get themselves into careers where they are thriving and can take care of themselves without struggle. It's no coincidence that in the recent article, over 300,000 Black women have been laid off since the current administration got into office, me being one of them. This is not the time to be down on yourself as a Black woman for prioritizing your education. And I think now more than ever, as a response to that, Black women should get even more educated. So if you're in between jobs and you're in that layoff space, like I am, look into getting certifications. So if you're not interested in getting another degree at the moment, look out there and see what certifications may interest you so that you're able to pivot and make yourself more marketable. You got HVAC, you got project management, you got CNA, EKG, phlebotomy, pharmacy tech, all different types of IT certifications. You can become a substitute teacher, but look into the certifications that might be of interest to you so that you can couple those with your current certifications and degrees that you have and see what you can find in terms of the job market, because it's rough out there. And so you want to make sure that you are able to find something in the interim until you get yourself, back on your feet or back in the career that you dreamed of being in and want to be in.
So 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs since January, compared to 212,000 white women that have lost their jobs. So we know that there are more white women in the country than Black women. So the impact was greater for Black women. But I agree with the lady in the video. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to stop and say, I'm not going back to school. I'm not going to be trained. I'm just going to give up. This is not the time to do this. This is the time to say, I am not going to let them defeat me, because that seems to be their purpose. I'm going to get my skills sharp. I'm going to write the best resume. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to get another job, even if I have to create it myself, because they're not going to win. We have not come this far to turn around, and we came this far by faith, and we will go on by faith. Let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
All righty. Once again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay. I don't know how many Black men were celebrating. At least over here on this side of the Black manosphere, um, the content creators I know and that I listen to were not celebrating. They were given a warning. Some of them were doing the I told you so, Mr. Z kind of flipping between the two. But celebrating, watching Black women lose 100, 300, possibly 500 and some odd thousand jobs in the span of a few months, 6, 7 months, give or take. No. Celebrating? No. Number one. Number two. Okay, fine. At least for who I listen to. Okay, let's put that on the table. What you hear here is cope, undiluted, unfiltered coping. Let's say we do agree with the women. They are being targeted. Black women in specific are being targeted. Black women allowed for themselves to be made, and they enthusiastically went along with, actually, as a matter of fact, they were desirous of being the face of feminism, radical, antagonistic, middle finger in men's faces feminism. By the way, I'm going to tag Lady Boulay. I'm going to put the link to her piece in the description box. Madam, Black women allowed for themselves to be the face of radical, antagonistic, middle finger to men feminism. Black women were the mascot for that. You have to appreciate that. If I'm not mistaken, Stephen Miller, and JD Vance are millennials. If I'm not mistaken, Miller is a millennial, right? Ma'am, JD Vance is not too much older than Z. Number one. Number two, you can't go to war with the system, with white supremacy, by your goddamn selves. Black women say they're the backbone of the Black community. The Black community said Black women are the backbones of the Black community. The Democrats said that Black women are the backbones of the Black community and the backbone of the Democratic Party. And we're about to see about that. We're about to see if Black women are the backbone of all of it. As the Republicans take a hatchet to these programs in order to get white women in line, we're going to see if they don't also get Black women. Well, are they going to get Black women in line? Huh. Or they're just going to watch Black women struggle and starve because Black women don't have nowhere else to go. Black women said they're not getting on a Black man's program. They would rather die and starve, and we're about to see about that. Huh? Black women that call Black men poor and losers and mock Black men and make fun of Black men and tell Black men don't talk, you don't earn enough. Shout out to Kim Foster, who said Black men's frustration is that they don't have a real income worth a damn. It's their finances, and they take that off on Black women. No, actually, Black men are currently indifferent, apathetic, and despondent to the plight of much of the Black community, particularly Black women. Huh? Taking out Black men taking out their frustration on Black women? Nope. You got to be around Black women to take out your frustration on them. Huh? Let's say it is a punishment for the Democratic Party because, as Black women were speaking about and bragging about, 92% of Black women voted for the Democrat Kamala Harris. Right? On top of that, how many Black women worked for federal government? Right? We know the black people writ large work in some type of government, state, local, federal government, right? We understand that. That's not exclusively a Black woman thing, right? Black women were willing to stick their middle finger up at Black men. Black women stuck their middle finger up at white men while not being quote unquote partnered, while not being in a relationship. So what happens when you become unemployed? Uh-oh. Lady Boulay, this was always going to happen. This was inevitable. Huh? This was inevitable. Black women were loud and obnoxious. Black women are still saying they're the most educated group in America. That is factually inaccurate. Y'all put Black men and the rest of the Black community, even other Black women that know better and that know the stats and that know it's actually Asian women, but we don't leave that there. Y'all put them in the most unenviable position. Do I look like a hater by correcting black people, black women who keep on saying this? Or do I just let them go out there and keep on saying it and then run into one of them sassy ass white dudes that check the hell out of them and hurt their little feelings? Huh? Yikes. Lady Belay, you played a clip of a woman saying what y'all been saying for some years now. It's factually inaccurate. Black women are the most college educated in the black community. And it's not by as great as a distance as people like to say it is. And even if it was, so what? Black men still earn more. Goddamn. Black men still earn more than black women. Black women are the most institutionalized, if you want to talk about college education, than black men. Okay, so what? No? Lady Boulay, okay, let's go with it. Black women have more college degrees. Oh, even if we were to say, for argument's sake, black women were the most college educated in America. It's factually inaccurate, but even if we were to grant you that, what you gonna do, Z? Read it again. Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the U.S. By the way, Lady Boulay, that's black women who are childless and have never married are the least wealthy in the U.S., man. Black women enthusiastically went along with white feminists and gave America, particularly the men, the biggest middle finger. Black women couldn't wait to tell you how much they didn't need a man. They weren't ending up with these loser men, calling black men particularly dusty losers. And it wasn't black men. Lady Belay, you may not know who Z is. Mr. Z been saying for years, it's not going to be black men that put a foot in black women's ass. It's going to be white men. And here go the foot, here go the rectum. Huh? Who's gloating? Unlike black men weren't doing seances and playing with Ouija boards and praying to the Orishas to cause black women to suffer because black women wouldn't get on black men's program. That's not how black men operate. Huh? Black men aren't saying, yeah, we were praying to, we were practicing voodoo and hoodoo and we were hoping, and look, that's what you get. That's a black woman thing. That's not a black man thing. Huh? Black men aren't saying to black women, you see, the ancestors are punishing you. Shout out to Dr. Time. The ancestors, you're causing the ancestors pain or whatever she said. No? Lady Boulay, this is easy. This is cakewalk. Black women enthusiastically became the face of antagonistic feminism. White women took a hit with white men, and black women have been devastated. Mr. Z said this was going to happen. Mr. Z predicted this. First, Mr. Z been saying this for years. Secondly, Mr. Z called this before the election. Third, Mr. Z called this on the election day. Fourth, now that we're what 7 months in, 8 months actually, into Donald Trump's second term, this is what you see. It was always going to be this. Now let's see if black women can lean on community. Community full of mainly black women, other black women who don't earn as much as black men, and who are also becoming more and more unemployed. Uh-oh. You know, Lady Boulay, Mr. Z has gone back and forth with Chrissy. I know you know who Chrissy is. Um, and Chrissy said to Z once, get on a black man's program. What program? Black men don't have no program. And we about to see about that. Ooh. Huh? What program? Ain't no program to get on, right, Chrissy? We about to see about that. We're gonna see about that. That doesn't mean this doesn't hit black men. What it does mean is that it doesn't devastate black men, not nearly as much as black women. Hmm? Exactly, Adric. And Adric says, false flag accusing black men of gloating. And thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So now black men are gloating because a number of black men are saying, I told you so. You're not attached. An increasing amount of you are not only married, you don't got a man. You don't have kids. You don't have a man. Let me get this right. Lady Boulay, let me get this right. Y'all saw JD Vance speak about single cat ladies early on into him being nominated as vice president. Him being chosen by Donald Trump as vice president. Y'all saw him say that. And y'all didn't appreciate who the hell y'all was dealing with? Huh? Lady Boulay, you didn't understand who y'all were dealing with? He said single cat ladies. And now black women who are largely unattached to any man are out here. Huh? Yikes. Black women with no husband, no boyfriend, no kids, so they're not even attached to the federal government, so the federal government could subsidize their children by getting the money from the man or just paying for the children. So let me get this right. So women that don't have any children, no man, what you thought was going to happen? You're not attached to anyone. Once you have a couple of homegirls, your community, huh? A couple of girlfriends who are also in tenuous situations, shaky situations. Lady Boulay, how is this supposed to work? Huh? No husband, no boyfriend, no baby daddy, because no children. No children, so no attachment to the federal government to be like, eh, well, at least she have kids. We got a next generation of taxpayers. Lady Boulay, you're not even doing the wrong thing the right way. Did y'all not understand what JD Vance was saying when he said, oh, these single cat ladies? He said it. Y'all are not contributing anything. Not you in particular, Lady Boulay. I'm saying all of the single cat ladies. He said, oh, you think that little funky $50,000 a year job, you think you actually contributing with that? You think that college degree and that $55,000 a year job, you think that's what you think you're doing? You think that's the contribution? Let me get this right. You're not attached to a man. You don't have any children. If we lucky, we get a Hail Mary, last minute, last egg kid from you when you're 43 years old. And then you're going to retire early retirement in your early mid 60s, and then you're going to draw more in Social Security than you put into Social Security, even more than the men do. Lady Boulay, I'm not the other brothers in the black manosphere that say, no, 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 the black women aren't being targeted. I will say, yeah, black women are being targeted. Y'all should have known it was coming. Huh? Should have been attached to a man, particularly a black man. Well, now y'all got to feel it. Lady Boulay, appreciate what the system is now saying to women, not just black women. Women, we gonna make you have to pay for being single. Single is now a luxury for women. Unless you're a rich woman, maybe upper middle class. If you upper middle class, if you solidly middle class and your overhead is real small, if you don't have a high overhead, if you don't have too much of an overhead, of a financial overhead, maybe you could pull it off. If you upper middle class, you'll be all right. If you're rich, of course you'll be okay. All you lower middle class women, uh-oh. All you working class women, yikes. You working poor women, give it up. And once again, Adric, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. What did the ladies think was going to happen? What are y'all contributing? A $46,000, $48,000 a year job? And being a hyper consumer? You think you're doing something with that? You're not going to have kids because you don't like the men you have access to. So you throwing in temper tantrum. You're not going to get married. You're not going to have kids. But you're going to buy your baby Benz or your Tesla Model 3 or your BMW 3 Series, your Audi A3, A4. You're going to stay at the mall every other week. And you think that's the real contribution? Okay. Huh? You think that's the contribution? Wow.
What would you say you do here?
Just saying. Lady Boulay, I played that clip because that is exactly what Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and by the way, half of these people are anti-black as hell, so they ain't even really talking to you. But if that's where we are in the conversation, then fine. That's what they're saying. I didn't play that just to be funny. Really, they're asking this question.
What would you say you do here?
You think they don't have a log of how many of us are working and when we're working and what we're doing and how we're doing it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Huh? You think they don't know? Wow. Anyway, right? Continuing. And let's read this from KMS. Give me a second. Where did that first comment go? Okay. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe to the super chat. KMS says, so the black women solution is to double down. What did I say, Z? What the F did I say? What were my exact effing words? And then he continues, wait a minute. Thank you for the super chat once again. He says, black women, we're the backbone of the black community. Black community. Scoliosis. The black community spine is shaped like an S. And Cam, as once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? No, yeah, no, they're gonna double down. Like I said, there's another clip, and as a matter of fact, let me see if I could. I should have bought that up too. It was another clip with the Sarah, what's her name again? Fontenot, lady. Who else was there? Cheyenne Bryan, Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, and who else? Was that the one with Torrey? Also Torrey and Cheyenne Bryan and Sarah. They did the same thing. They literally did the same thing. These ladies said, we're not being let go. We're leaving and we're starting businesses and we're resilient. And it is like the most frightening thing. Look, I listen to black men speak. I watch clips of black men speak. I listen to black men speak in real life. Black men sit with when they get a foot put in their rear end. Black men don't always have some weird way of spinning this into a positive. They don't always think it's going to end in happily ever after. Huh? It's fascinating watching these talking heads, these pundits, these commentators, whoever the hell, turn any negativity into positivity for black women. You want to talk about magic? That's magic. Huh? Nothing to see here. We're okay. Look, we just took a quick pause. Go ahead and skill up. Get your skills up. Upskill. Huh? Invest in yourself. Go back to school. Huh? Go start a business with what startup capital? Nothing to see here. We're perfectly okay. Translation. Look, we can't let nobody see us sweat. We can't let the white racists see us sweat. We definitely can't let black men see us sweat. We okay, right? All ladies? We're okay. No. A handful of you are okay. The mass of you are struggling, and a few of you are teetering. The handful of you that are okay are telling the other ones that are not okay to live vicariously through you, and they'll be okay. Nothing to see here. Don't let the white racists see you sweat. Don't let the anti-black people see you sweat. Definitely don't let the black men see you sweat. Everybody knows you're sweating. Everyone knows you're sweating. Huh? Yikes. All of this to save face, you're not saving face. You look absolutely delusional. You look insane. You look like you should be put in a straitjacket. Watching these women contort themselves like pretzels, tie themselves into knot to try to save face. It ain't that bad. And nothing to see here. We're good. Right, ladies? We're good, right, ladies? Nothing to see here. Watching them do the nothing to see here is absolutely fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating watching black women do the nothing to see here. Oh, what? We lost how many jobs? 100, 300, 500,000 jobs in the span of 6, 7, 8 months? I didn't even notice. I didn't even feel that. There ain't nothing to see here. No, I'm good. I'm good. All my girlfriend's good. All my homegirls good. Huh? Nothing to see here. What? We losing jobs? We didn't need them jobs anyway. We just was doing that to get out the house. Nothing to see here. Watching black women do that is absolutely fascinating. You want to talk about magic trick? Huh? Perfect song, actually, Saints here. And Saints here says, Alexa plays Everybody Knows by Nerd. Hey, the remix, it was dope also, and Currency did a song on the remix beat also. His was actually really smooth. It's one of my favorite Currency songs. It's old school now. It's old as hell now, right? But exactly, Saints here. Exactly, right? Everybody knows. Hmm? Yikes! And y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Real story, another trending truth that Black female unemployment is up versus last year. It's up to 6%. It's up higher than other women demographic unemployment rates. It's higher than other male demographics. So there's a high number of Black women who are unemployed, even though they are the most educated demographic in the country.
Well, first of all, as much as people think it's a DEI result, right? It's not. DEI benefited more white women than it did Black women, first of all. Second of all, Black women haven't really suffered or been impacted from DEI as much as the narrative continues to put out there. There's a couple things going on with Black women. One, we killing it out there, sisters. Where my sisters at? Holla at your girl. We killing it. We are the most educated. There are 71% of Black women that are obtaining their graduate degree. That's their master's degree. There is 65% of women obtaining their postgraduate degree, which is a doctorate degree academically. Not just honorary doctorate, but going to get it academically.
Now, jobs like retail and the healthcare sector, a lot of those jobs are being lost to automation, computerization. You go into Target, there used to be tons of people there ready to help you buy. Now there's lots of self-checkout areas where there is not a person, or maybe there's one person overseeing 8 self-checkout areas where, you know, when Dimitri was a kid, there would have been like 8 people at 8, right? So you're losing people, right, jobs at the working class level, the retail level. That I think is hitting a lot of Black women, while another class of Black women are getting degrees and moving upward.
Or what I think is absolutely incredible, and what I am myself, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and then there are also business owners, brick and mortar business owners as well. And I think that there's a beautiful opportunity for us being so well educated, so hardworking, so resilient, so figure it out. Everything is figure outable, that it's really created a class of women that are setting a newer, better, and higher bar.
Yeah. And I want to add this really quick, Torre, to what Sarah said. Black women are also starting to have kids in their 40s versus back in the day. There was a big, I don't want to say epidemic, but epidemic of Black women having kids in their teenage years, which was then, you know, not allowing them to go on and create this future. So being that they are having kids later, that means what? They're becoming more career driven. We are career driven women who are saying we will create and build before we go and have a family, so that our kids are born into equity and not into deficit. I am proud of us sisters. Go sisters, go Black women. I see you. I love you. And I am.
I want y'all to appreciate this came out in May, right? This came out in May. The Delusion. It's over 9,000. The Delusion breaks the goddamn Richter scale. Exactly, Starman. The Cope breaks the Richter scale. Shout out to Accountable Commentary. No reachbacks. Accountable Commentary. Half of them not reaching back anyway. They're so delusional. They're literally drowning and trying to keep up the facade. You imagine trying to keep your mask on as we watch you sink under the waves? Imagine being at a masquerade party and you watch a bunch of black women fall off the boat. And as they're drowning under the waves, they're not screaming, they're not crying, they're not trying to swim back to shore or swim back onto the boat. They're trying to fix their mask. Huh? Or better yet, even better yet, because I said that a little bit wrong. Elite women, elite black women, these are the women that are still on the boat. They reach their hand over and fix the mask on the black women that are drowning. There you go. That's a better example. You're watching as working poor, working class, maybe lower middle class black women that have no man, maybe or maybe not have children. You're watching them sink under the waves, but before they sink under the waves, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Sarah Fontenot reach their hand out and fix black women's mask, the average black woman's mask, before they drown. Huh? Wow. Nothing to see here. Huh? Wow. So I had to play that clip, I've been seeing it for a while and I haven't played it, and Mr. Z was just like, no, let me hurry up and play this because it goes perfect with Lady Boulay and what the hell she talking about. Ma'am, all this, we're the most educated and we're hardworking and we're resilient and that. Look, you're going up against the US government. Do y'all appreciate who the hell y'all dealing with? They told y'all to sit this one out. That's what they just said. And to the black women, I say, it's like we're being targeted. Yeah, maybe you are. And the fact that you don't have a man and you may not have any children, how the hell are you supposed? So you just move back in with your parents then. Mr. Z not saying that's the end of the world, but I'm just saying you won't be the only one.
I'm freshly 28. I have no job, no savings, no partner. I live at home with my parents again. There are 5 cats that reside here, 2 of them being mine. Life isn't going the way that I thought it was going to. It's been stressful. I have no money to do things anymore, which is whatever. It is what it is. But I did just bake oatmeal, craisin, white chocolate cookies, and they're really good. And I think them coming out so pretty, yeah, they're a little bit brown, but I like them that way, is a sign that everything's going to be okay. And that I can do hard things. And I'm resilient. That's really all I have to say.
Oh, and the difference between those 2 black women, Sarah being in her late 30s and Cheyenne Bryant being in her early 40s, and this 28-year-old white woman is, huh? You can't compare us to white women. Y'all are in your late 30s and early 40s, and the 28-year-old white woman who's unemployed, 5 cats at her parents' home, 2 of which are hers. No man, no job, no prospects, out of money. Her words. She said the same thing y'all said about black women. I'm resilient. Me baking these cookies, perfect, shows that I know I can do hard things. What? Thank you, Starman. And Starman says 75 people, 30 likes. Tighten the F up. Look, y'all, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I can't have that many hate watchers. I got that many hate listeners. Y'all in your cubicles right now at work, typing angrily. Huh? I can't have that many hate watchers. Yeah, Z, you can. You're right. No. But yes, everyone, yes. Yeah, that's how it works. Y'all heard what the young lady said? 28 years old. No prospects. No man. No job. No money. Okay, she's 28 and she's white. How many mid 30-year-old, 34, 35, 37-year-old black women find themselves in her exact same position right now? They're on social media right now typing up how dusty black men are. Haven't had a job in a couple of years. Or maybe, possibly, just lost their job 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But yet on TikTok, in the comments, on Twitter, in the comments, on YouTube, in the comments, on Instagram, in the comments, talking about how dusty black men are. Loser black men are. Sassy black men are. Accusing black men of being secretly LGBTQ. Huh? We're black. We know how the world go. We know how real it could get. But ma'am, it is some nasty work for any one of you ladies secretly listening. For you to be living at your parents' home, unemployed, with or without kid, huh? Speaking about how dusty black men are. Huh? Revlon says, don't forget the antidepressants. Yeah, good point. Good point. They on antidepressants, that's for sure. Right? Popping them pills, you're right. Huh? Yikes. So that's the first clip. The second clip, and we'll play which one? Yeah, that's a long segment right there. Do I want to cover that? Let's do this one next. Shout out to the brother. This brother name is Self Checkout. I was out here saying 5F. Anyway, Z, what you got going on? I don't know. Anyway, let's play this brother's clip. Shout out to him. He Instagram page, and we'll check this out.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Broke men are evil, okay? They hate themselves for being broke, and they will hate you too. So don't put yourself through that. Now go and do something today that makes you happy.
Sweetheart, I think the word you...
Okay. I'll put the link for that in the description box a little later also. Broke men are evil. Now go do something that makes you happy. This is how you like slow walk into eugenics. This is how you like tiptoe into eugenics. This is how you like you say certain things, you make certain pronouncements, and like you don't really appreciate what you're saying, what you're implying, what you're suggesting by saying those things. You don't fully appreciate where, because I had this conversation with a coworker the other day. And I was like, people say things and they don't realize. And I was talking about black people. I was like, you ever listen to black people talk and you don't really get what you're saying and what that implies, huh? Then you wake up, you say these type of things because black people be talking all type of reckless in front of white folks. And then your white friend, your white coworker, or the white person you thought was a friend says some super anti-black stuff. You're like, whoa, 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 where did that come from? You dumbass. You gave him the license. You gave her the license. Huh? Number one. Number two, you don't appreciate how you slow walk into Auschwitz, right? You don't appreciate how you slow walk into Auschwitz with the type of things you're saying. Huh? I guarantee you this woman ain't rich. She thinks she ain't broke to the elites. That's the most fascinating part. You think you're not broke to the elites, ma'am? I doubt you're earning a few $100,000 a year. I doubt your man is, but even if y'all are, you still think you're not broke to the elites? Huh? You think you're not broke to the elites? That's the broke men are evil, she said. How many women think this? They just don't got the ovaries to say it out loud, but you can see it and how they move and how they speak. They believe this. It sounds nice to say that as a woman because you think you're not in that category because you're not a man. Okay. Last time I checked, men are the only ones that suffer. It was only male small hats in those gas chambers. Oops. It was only male small hats in those concentration camps, huh? It was only them. Yeah, that's it. There was no women in there. Huh? Anne Frank and her sister and them, they don't exist. Oops. That was a fictional story. Right? Yikes. These folks say these type of things. You're like, do you appreciate what the hell you saying? You don't know what you're saying. You saying it to be kind of edgelord and snarky and sassy and Bruckman. You saw the look on her face, that little smug ass look on her face. She thinks she's saying something.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Broke men are evil. Okay? They hate themselves for being broke, and they will hate you too. So don't put yourself through that. Now go and do something.
If y'all recall, one of the black women that was on, one of the sisters that was on tonight's conversations, the one that was sitting, she wasn't sitting next to Sarah, but Sarah Fontenot, but she was kind of saying that same type of thing. Broke men are mean, right? And they don't like themselves. All of this talk. Man, could y'all just admit you agree with the short mustache man and move the hell along? Huh? Boy, ain't nothing women hate more than a broke man. Well, y'all, hey, shout out to everyone who thinks, no, women are softer and nicer, and if women ruled the world, everything would be okay, and we wouldn't have any wars, and everything would be in harmony. Huh? Men are the one who would start the wars. If women ruled the world, everything would be safe, and everything would be great. Shout out to all the women who think that.
I don't think that men and women were ever that compatible to begin with.
Men and women weren't compatible?
No, they're not compatible. Not even kind of.
So who is?
I don't know. I felt far more love from the women in my life than I've ever felt men.
Oh.
Through and through. I think that we've developed high expectations for men that aren't reasonable. I don't think it's in their biological makeup. And that's just my personal opinion on things.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope. That's about it.
So men are fucking crazy.
No, I didn't say that. I don't think that men are built with the amount of empathy that women are. That's it. It's not a villainizing thing. It's nothing other than that. I think that everybody would be a lot more happy if they set realistic expectations for men. And
like what?
But they're never gonna understand the way that anybody feels ever, because it's not built into them. It's not the way that you guys are designed to think or feel. And yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing other than what I just said. That I just don't think that men are born with empathy. I think that they have to be taught it in a really hard form. That's why men wage wars, blow up other countries.
That's men's fault?
Do you think it's a woman's fault?
I don't know. I haven't blown shit up, so I don't know.
Do you think that the world works the way that it does because a woman was in charge? Because if it did, we'd be living in a blissful state of being.
So women should be in charge?
I literally, hands and knees, the day that women could ever be in charge, it would be the most blissful universe that you've ever seen.
Okay.
You don't think that?
Men are incapable of empathy, everyone. And they got to be taught it in a harsh way. And you know, when a woman says a man got to be taught something in a harsh way, translation, we must make these men bow. We must break them. We must kick their back in. We're going to get half the men to kick the back end of the other half of men and make them bow to the almighty power of the vulva. Which more than half of you won't be getting, by the way. Huh? Which more than half of you will not be enjoying, by the way. Like 80% of you, maybe 75% of you, definitely 2/3 of you, definitely. Now that goes without question. Will not be enjoying, by the way. No. The world will be a peaceful place if women rule the world. Huh. You have this thing. I want this thing. You won't trade me that thing. You won't let me buy it. You won't let me barter. You won't let me trade. But I want that. As a matter of fact, I don't even want it. I need it. You think you trying to tell me women would just sit on their hands and be like, well, I yes, I mean, I tried to negotiate with the female president, of Pakistan, and they just said no. So I guess we're just gonna be okay with not having that thing that we need. Huh? Oh well, we'll just deal with not having it. Yeah, that's it. That's how women operate. Okay. Huh? Shout out to all the the stay-at-home Midwestern white moms that get off on stealing little knickknacks out of stores because they're bored. You trying to tell me you snap your fingers tomorrow, you Thanos snap your fingers tomorrow, and all of these nations are ran by women and everything will be copacetic. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? It's all a figment of men's imagination. Yeah. Women are so non-violent. Huh? We set expectations on men. We set too much high expectations on men. She sneak dissing like a mug. She's saying you're incapable. We men are not capable of feeling the way women feel. We're not supposed to feel the way you feel. Huh? Dude, you need to get the hell up out of there. If that's supposed to be some woman you're smashing or whatever the hell, you need to get out of there. She's going to crush you, and she's going to feel justified no matter what she ever does to you, ever. And yes, I saw what Ryan Clark said, by the way. I keep on saying it. Y'all think Mr. Z joking. In these people mind, some Middle Eastern man backhanded his wife 3,500 years ago, and all man must pay. Huh? They saw their father take a tone with their mother once in their life, and all men must pay forever. No? The boy they found attractive in middle school did not find them attractive, and all men must pay forever. Their boss, their male boss, put a bit of pressure on them to get a certain type of work done in a short amount of time. And you know how women are. They went in the bathroom and cried for 10 minutes, and all men must pay forever. Dude, you better get out of there. She's telling you what she thinks about men. She's telling you what she thinks about men. Y'all gotta relegate these women to munching on vagina. Hey, it couldn't be me talking to her. The greatest love she ever felt was from women. All right, you know what? Wait, get home. Hey, I don't think this is gonna work. Clearly, you have some repressed sexual energy towards women. I think you need to go explore that. I am not the man for you. I don't think any man's the man for you. You need to go try women. No, no. You told me the greatest love you ever felt was from women. I think you need to go explore that. Huh? Yikes. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Revelox says, what did Ryan Clark say with his pandering ass? He was pandering again. All the brothers in the comments were telling him, bro, this is double standard stuff is crazy. And he acknowledged the double standard. Mr. Z already told you, I believe in double standards. I believe in the, okay, fine. Okay, fine. If a woman could smack you and she should be able to get away with it, okay, fine. All right, fine. That means we keep all the double standards then. Uh-oh. If y'all want women to be able to talk crazy to men, but you can't respond because you're sassy, okay, fine. Women should be able to strike men. You can't respond in kind. Okay, fine. Huh? Women should question men's masculinity. You can't say the same, even though in the black community, black women are far more LGBTQ than black men are. Okay, fine. If we're gonna accept the double standard, then we're gonna accept them all the way. That means that I get to exercise my options and she don't. Oops. That means I get to bark and I get the final word and she don't. Yikes. Huh? That means I don't wash dishes, I don't wash clothes, I don't fold laundry, I don't do none of it. Uh-oh. Huh? Ryan Clark tried to pull the, black men. No, he didn't say black men. Men have been horrible forever. Men have been horrible for years. I told y'all what the women are charging men like Ryan Clark to do is to beat up on men like us. That is his job. That's FD Signifier's job. That's Foreign Man in a Foreign Land's job. That's Conscious Lee's job. That's Steve Harvey's job. That's DL Hughley's job. That's Shaq's job. Now, Shaq, every once in a while, he'll say something that lets you know, like he's like, okay, look, ladies, y'all sound crazy with this foolishness. Y'all sound delusional. But all the rest of them, oh no. All those white knights. Huh? What Ryan Clark did there with the Sha'Carri Richardson situation, he lets you know unequivocally where he stands. What's fascinating to me, listening to men and women speak about DV, especially when women commit DV and it's no excuse, like when it's as plain as day as Sha'Carri Richardson, right? When you can't say, "Oh well, we don't know. He might have struck her first, or we don't know. You know, you never know." And what did he do? No, when it's very clear, because everybody start copping pleas when there might be a bit of ambiguity. No, no, no. When it's supremely clear, it's fascinating watching everybody pretty much say like, "Okay, so what?" Huh? It's fascinating watching people say, huh? First, appreciate that women have ears too, Mr. Clark. Black women have ears also. Women have ears, black women have ears. Women have eyes, black women have eyes. When you say no one should be hitting anyone, but when men hit women, it's worse. Appreciate that women hear you and they will take advantage and exploit that. Exhibit A. Sha'Carri say, well, he's the man. Ooh. I watched so many videos of this, and a bunch of people ignored when she said that. They minimized it, or they act like they didn't understand what she said, or what, better yet, what she meant when she said, well, he's the man. Translation for all of you pretending. It doesn't matter whether I struck him. It doesn't matter if y'all saw me strike him. It doesn't matter if it's on camera. He's the man. I don't go to jail. He goes to jail. I don't get in trouble. He does. Mr. Z said patriarchy by feminist specifications. I said what I meant because that's truly what the women are asking for. Everybody's pretending like they don't get it. Let me say it again slow. Patriarchy by feminist specifications. A la carte patriarchy, a la carte feminism. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Let me get that part of patriarchy. I'll get a scoop of this part of patriarchy. Ooh, let me get a dash of that part of patriarchy. Huh? Ooh, let me get a pinch of that part of patriarchy. Ooh, I want a whole smattering of this part of feminism. Let me get a scoop of this part of feminism. Huh? Let me get a bushel, not a bushel, Z, a bushel of this part of feminism. The women have eyes and ears. They hear when the society says, look, no one should be putting their hands on anyone, but especially men. The women hear you when you say that. They know you're giving them a green light. No, Z, that's not what we're doing. They know you're giving them a green light. They know you're saying, look, you shouldn't be hitting him, but if he hits you back, if he strikes you back, we're going to pummel him. Okay, yeah, there you go. And what you going to do to her? Give her a stern lecturing too. Oh, yeah, that's what we thought. Yikes. We're going to give her a stern lecturing too, and we're going to wag our finger at her. Huh? Now, tisk tisk, you shouldn't be. Okay, yeah, there we go. So I want to make sure that we get that. So, to what Ryan Clark said, yeah, he said that. Yawn, same old, same old. Right? We're gonna bury the young men. It's the same thing Dr. Umar Johnson tried to do on Daily Wrap Up Crew. Ryman, we're gonna bury the young brothers, half of them that don't have children, right? Never been married. We're gonna bury you with some negative stereotype of what some black man did yesterday, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. We're gonna charge you with some negative stereotype for you to overcome. And we're gonna make sure that we keep on moving that bar. And then we pretend to wonder why our sons are popping up with non-black women, or they're becoming recluse, or they're becoming despondent, apathetic, indifferent. No? Yikes. So continuing, let's play this clip. As a matter of fact, before we do that, let me read KMS's super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And KMS is the song it apropos to black women's plight because they've been partying it up, but the club is closing and the building light of life decisions is waiting for them, and there are no stars to hitch their wagon to. Jesus, it's real out there. It's dark outside. You saying the club time is closing and it's time to go outside and there's no lights out, there's no stars to hitch their wagon to. Look, there's no stars outside, there's no light outside, it's dark out, and you got to get home. Ooh. I really am gonna have to review the part of then and now when he speaks about Russia and this idea of a constant upward mobility or constant quote unquote progress. It's funny because Kyle Kalinske from Secular Talk, he said something the other day. He said, I thought the arc of history bends towards justice. And I'm re-improving right now because he was talking about all the repeals of these different things and the regression. I want to say he was speaking about, and I'm going to have to do a lefty stream about this, PragerU potentially being tapped to be like the next PBS, not PBS, yeah, PBS, right? And so he was playing a clip, I want to say a clip that they have of Christopher Columbus for kids, right? And like obviously the minimizing of slavery, the minimizing of Christopher Columbus slaughtering indigenous folks, the Taino Indians and whatnot, and the Caribs. That's how you get Caribbean, by the way. The Carib indigenous folks, and just minimizing that. And I want to say it was that one because I watched a bunch of stuff from Kyle back to back to back. So I want to say it was that one. And he said, "Wow, like I thought the arc of history bends toward justice, and I'm being proven wrong." What did Mr. Z say before? The one thing I disagree with Martin Luther King on is that the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. Huh? Huh? Yikes. Black women, a lot of people, a lot of Americans, a lot of Westerners, we got real comfy. Z included. We got real comfy. We thought our victories were permanent. Huh? We thought our victories were permanent. For those of us that ever been to a mechanic shop and you see the lift, right? And you hear when the lift is going up and you hear the click, click, click as it's going up, and that's its locking. It's not going to drop past that point, right? Now, if you put the car on the wrong way on the lift, the car can always fall off, but the car is not going to drop the lift. Especially if it's a super heavy duty lift, the car it's not going to, the lift will not drop past that point. That's what the clicking sound is, right? We thought that's how history works. We thought that's how quote unquote progress works. No matter what, it ain't gonna drop past this point. We good. Huh? Are you sure about that? And we're here now. We thought history, progress wouldn't drop past a certain point. And that's even if you think what's been going on over the past 60, 70 years is progress. For some of us, yes. For some of us, no. For some of us, this thing was progress, but that thing wasn't. And we're here now. You are watching half of Americans be so angry and spiteful that they felt like they were left behind by the neoliberal project. They said, burn it all to the ground, and I don't care if I get burned too. Goddamn, Z. Huh? Burn it all to the ground, and I don't care if I get burned too. And black women decided not to be with black men in that. Oh, wait, they didn't see that coming, even though black men said, you do realize that white folks are still white folks, right? Huh? You do realize who you're dealing with, right? You didn't forget who you're dealing with, right? Oh, but y'all thought, like Mr. Z was saying, that history was on this lift and that it wouldn't go down past a certain point. Yeah, about that. Huh? Yikes. Well, and I'm saying this for all of us. I'm not just saying this for the women. It ain't gonna be a party. Huh? The way these folks are talking, and I did a little bit more research last night about the Alex Karp CEO of Palantir. No kids, never been married, half black. No, Z, not Alex Karp is half black. Mother was black. Hey, only logical, wherever you are, you want to do the biracial children with black mothers. Yeah, you might want to do that one on Alex Karp. You might want to do one on Alex Karp because Alex Karp mom was black. And apparently she was pro-black, even though she married a small hat dude. But anyway, don't let a little thing like hypocrisy and black women talking black but sleeping white. Don't let a little thing like that get in the way. Anyway, huh? Yikes. Tying all of that in, black women didn't appreciate, women didn't appreciate, Americans didn't appreciate, Westerners didn't appreciate, that includes pretty much all of us, that this could always get snatched back. Huh? They hitched their wagon to liberal white men and women. And they got flicked off a crumb here and there over the past few decades. And they used that crumb to bludgeon us with, bludgeon black men with. And we're here now. Huh? And Better Use is, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Better Use is, imagine believing you can F your way, right? Triple X your way out of blanc supremacy. Moon Blanc, for all of you that know, you know. Shout out to all my Haitians. Moon Blanc supremacy. Shaking my head. Blanc is one hell of a drug. Yeah. 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 A lot of folks don't. This is a thing. The left have its own issues. You know, when you speak to a lot of conservatives, they like to minimize that thing. I haven't watched. Shout out to all of you that sent me the link to Amanda Seals debating the black conservatives. Apparently she didn't do as bad. I thought she was going. Shout out to Amanda Seals. You know, sometimes you have to be honest. I didn't think she was going to do that well. I only watched a bit of it. She wasn't bad. I thought she was gonna get her head taken off. I was like, God damn, this is gonna be the one time where Jubilee put somebody up, and nah. So shout out to Amanda Seals. Mr. Z had that all the way wrong. I don't know how much I thought she was gonna get completely beheaded, like on a scale of 1 to 10, but I didn't think she was gonna do as well as she did. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I'm talking for us lefties. But yeah, so I gotta finish watching it. So don't hold me to that yet. We might review it and cover it. But you know, going back to what Better You was saying and tying that to what Better You was saying, I don't know how many folks really appreciate that that's what you're advocating for. You're advocating for upholding that, right? Like, I was reading through the comments of something, and this Indian cat said, "Oh yeah, somebody said, oh yeah." As a matter of fact, it was Jubilee. Funny enough. Okay, fine. And someone said, because I want to say one of the folks, and that was one of the 20 that was debating Amanda Seals said, "W supremacy doesn't exist." Of course, a black person saying W supremacy doesn't exist. Excuse me. And then there was a comment in the comment section that said, "Imagine a black person saying W supremacy doesn't exist." And an Indian cat jumped in the comments and said, "I'm Indian, it doesn't exist." That comment had, last time I checked, like 63 likes. Okay, cool. And I put in the comments like, W supremacy doesn't exist. You should be ashamed of yourself. Go ask your Indian ancestors if W supremacy doesn't exist. What do you think BRICS is for? You know BRICS? The I being for India in BRICS? What you think they fight against, really? I haven't, nobody commented back on my comment. I don't even got a like on my comment. I say all that to say, and go into Better Use comment, a lot of folks don't appreciate what the hell they're seeing. Huh? They don't really appreciate what's going on. You got a lot of people of color, white, black, not white, but black, Latino, Asian, and that's all the Asians, East Asian, Southeast Asian, and South Asian. They don't really appreciate what they're watching. So they'll low-key, high-key advocate for the blondes without really appreciating that's what they're doing. Because in their mind, W supremacy don't exist, you idiot. Now this one is stupid, KMS. Now you can say stupid. Huh? I'm telling you, dude said that. I'm like, bruh, Pakistan, India, like the whole partition, the British Empire, huh? Wasn't India called like the Star of Britain? What they used to call it, the what did they used to call India? The British had a phrase for it. It wasn't the Star of Britain. It was the Crown Jewel of Britain. Like, didn't they used to call it that? While they were exploiting you, didn't when one of the kings went to go visit India, and y'all had like a famine because y'all had to make sure that they were well fed, and then so the average Indian had to starve so that the royal family that was visiting India could be well fed. Like, bro, what are you talking about? That didn't happen like 400 years ago. That was like a century ago. Huh? So, bro, right? Shout out to Better You, but yeah, man, look, these folks, they don't. And then you're talking about younger folks, and my fear. I'm gonna tie that to what I was saying about PragerU. And Kyle said it also. Like, no, these people want to rewrite history. I get it, and to all my conservative brethren, even some of my centrist brethren, appreciate this. These people don't want history just taught. They do see history as indoctrination. Many of us see it that way. Left, right, middle. Appreciate what that means for you as a black person. They're going to minimize colonialization. They're going to minimize slavery. They're going to minimize, for all you indigenous, you Spanish-speaking indigenous folks that like to call yourself Latinos. They're going to minimize the grape and pillage of your ancestors. That will have an effect on the way your children see the world and see their place in it and accept their lowly position in the hierarchy. It's not simply about bastardizing history, right? No, no, no. You use that reinterpretation, that bastardization, to paint a picture and to essentially tell people on the bottom, you on the bottom because you're a loser. Because your parents ain't work hard enough, you didn't work hard enough. Huh? And you calcify the hierarchy. And that's the point now, isn't it? Mm. Pastor OG says they can't minimize them opium wars. China, remember that ish. Yeah, they do. Right? And it's a way of saying to on in the West, it is a way of saying to everyone affected by Moon Blanche colonialism, hey, but it benefited you though, right? Huh? But did you die? That's what they're saying to everyone. But did you die? Huh? Like I know you're on the bottom of the hierarchy, and I know occasionally, like a white officer will kill an unarmed black man, and then we find out that the white officer is racist, and they got Nazi paraphernalia tattoo on them. I know, like yeah, that happens, but you're much better here than in Africa. I mean, even though what happened to Africa, it was our European cousins and the colonization, but I mean, like you're still better, right? Like I know you're on the bottom of the hierarchy, right? Like, and I know that we insult your intelligence and then insult your impulse control and say you don't have any and say like you're supposed to be on the bottom of the hierarchy, but it's because of bad culture and low IQ. Like I know we do that, but you're better in America than you would be in Africa, though, right? Even though if you were in Africa, you would still have to deal with our European cousins and their exploitation and like, you know, deleting some of your leaders and like installing leaders that are more friendly to them. Like, yes, but you are better here than you are in Africa, right? And the only reason you're on the bottom of the hierarchy is because, like, you lack impulse control and you have low IQ and bad culture, and right. So yeah, they might not be able, especially in China's current position, they can impose their will on China. Not in that way anyway. But in the West, particularly in America, oh yeah. Imagine PragerU. Did y'all ever see Candace Owens go over slavery on PragerU's channel? On PragerU's channel? It's horrific. Like to all my conservative brethren, y'all don't appreciate what I'm saying. It is horrific. When you watch the is it Frederick Douglass? Which one did they? It's horrific too. It was It was Frederick Douglass. It's horrific. Them cover man. Look, woo! It's PragerU covering Black history or the history of any. Oh, Z, you're gonna have to use the term. God damn it, I gotta use the term. "Quote unquote" marginalized people. It's horrific. And Trump is gonna make them like the new PBS. Oh boy, huh? Ross says, I don't understand how she has black fans. They must be young people. I think young people, I think a lot of, like, there's a number of things I think. I think you're dealing with some of our suburban cousins, some of our cousins that, like, they were bullied back when they were younger by their cousins in the hood. Some of our cousins that just want to be edgelords. Some of our cousins that they say they're tired of that quote unquote victim talk and that victim mentality talk. Let's be very clear. Some of our people that they got in through Fresh and Fit, right? Some of their black listeners, right? And we watch him walk his subscribers in that direction. We know it's primarily white dudes, but there's a handful of black dudes also. And it's not far-fetched for Z to think that there are young black men who are listening to Fresh and Fit. They're also listening to Candace Owens. They're listening to Tatum. They're listening to all those cats, all those type of content creators. They're listening to Anton. They're listening to sometimes Angry Man, Obsidian, but like no, not really. Really, for them, it's Anton, it's Candace Owens, it's Tatum, it's the Hodge twins, it's Candace Owens. Like it, yeah. And like you don't see it as anti-black. You just see it as like being honest. I just want the truth, and I'm not a victim. I'm not like those other black people. Those other black people are victim. They victim mentality, huh? Ain't no such thing as being a victim, but you could have victim mentality. Listen to that. No, the only victims are white straight men, and the white straight men are victims of weaker losers who have used the generosity of white liberals to handicap and to handcuff white, straight, conservative Christian males. Oh, if y'all think Z is making this up, you have another thing coming. This is literally how they think. Huh? The true victims are white, Christian, conservative males who have been handicapped not simply by feminists. Oh, no. By feminists, definitely by the small hats, right? So like feminists are in cahoots with the small hats and black people to handicap particularly white Christian males, right? Straight white Christian males. And the only people that are truly victims are white Christian males. Not black men, right? Not black men. Shout out to all you in the black manosphere. They're not talking about you. Huh? If anything, they'll say you the victim of the left's low expectation of black folks. Huh? If anything, they'll say that. Oh, right. Remember, these are the same folks that's saying, "Hey, we need to practice no empathy. Our empathy is being weaponized against us." Remember, these are the same folks talking that mess. If you don't appreciate if you hear white men of all people saying, "Hey, we too empathetic. We need to get rid of that." If you hear white men saying they no longer are going to practice empathy, I'm like, where? Where was the empathy in the first place? Understand what it is to have white men say, "Hey, we cutting all that empathy out." Translation, they want to stand on your head in the middle of the streets and no one say anything about it. Ish about it. Hey, bro. I had to reel back one time. Mr. Z was talking to Miss Z, if you listening, and we were talking about white men saying this, and I could tell like Miss Z was visibly shook. She damn near dropped a tear because she's a history major. She was a history major, so she knows. Hey, if white men talk about no empathy and they already on this foolishness, what the hell they think? What are they gonna feel justified in doing? I had to reel back when we were talking about it. Mr. Z going a little personal with y'all real quick. I had to reel back. Because we both know, hey, if white men talking about no empathy and they're already on the BS they on right now, what the hell are they going to feel justified in doing and saying? And how they going to be acting? Huh? Tying that to Candace Owens. Candace Owens, Tatum, the Hodge twins, all these weirdo want to spite my mom. My mom made me vote Democrat when I was 18, and I ain't doing it no more. And da. All those dudes, brothers, are just greasing the skids for the Moon Blancs. Huh? You got to be careful. Politics is spite. You got to be careful, black people. That's black men and black women. Y'all been hearing Z speak like that since day one. Huh? You got to be careful. That politics is spite. You can least afford it. You got to be careful what you sign up for and what you sign on to, just to spite your baby mama. Huh? If I say it to black women, I gotta say it to black men. Look, be careful. Who are you agreeing with out of spite? Just saying. Y'all know who Z is. And thank you for that comment, Ron. Thank you for that comment. Huh? Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. He's been laying it out. Sarge not the only one. We know. And Oliver the Great says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. He says, welcome to the South. For real. For real. It's getting dark out there, everyone. It's getting dark out there. It is getting dark. Huh? And you see people cheering it on. And that's the fascinating thing for Z. Like, there needs to be a reckoning of that supposed social contract. I've been saying this. Shout out to Kareem. She remembers me saying this. I got to do a stream on the social contract. And I said that, like, I don't know, 2 years ago. So yeah, it's been, yeah. Z, what's your backlog look like? I know. With that, this ain't it. This ain't it. Look, if you're not conscious, you gonna backslide and wake up in Auschwitz, and you would have been the one goose stepping and marching enthusiastically to Auschwitz. Right? We watch black women do that. I do not want black men to do that. The last thing I want is for black men to enthusiastically march in this direction. We watch black women do that, and it's culminating in us watching them get their head taken off right now in front of our face. Figuratively speaking, maybe literally, depending on what type of divester swirler thing you got going on with that white dude. But we definitely watch them figuratively get beheaded in the middle of the streets. I do not want that for black men. So these folks riding out with Candace Owens and riding out with, Tatum in them and Hodge twins in them. All right. Huh? If you have brothers, if you have black men, and I'm gonna watch the whole thing on Jubilee, telling Amanda Seals to her face, ain't no. I'm just gonna say it now. White supremacy. All right. Okay. Huh? I don't know if it's smart. I don't know. No. And Vince is, and thank you for the super chat. If only our ancestors knew what gaslighting was, man. Like I said, I had a conversation with a coworker about that. I was like, hey, bro, we were talking about money, and I was like, hey, such and such said, like, essentially said black people are stupid. He was like, yeah, we stupid because and if you give a Negro money, and I was like, bro, and when you like, this is the social worker in Z. And it took me about goddamn 20 minutes to slow walk him into appreciating, like, when you say this, you're saying this because you're disappointed in black people. When he say this, he's saying this to justify black people's position in the hierarchy, you know, on the bottom. Right? You're frustrated with your people. He's telling you your people supposed to be on the bottom. That's God's will. Ooh, goddamn. That's the divine order of things. Jesus. Huh? And he understood what I was saying afterward. I was like, bro, you got to be careful what you sign up for. And this goes back to what Mr. Z was saying before. A lot of folks, man, be enthusiastically goose-stepping right into Auschwitz. You don't even know what you're doing. Huh? Y'all be forgetting these moon blanc are blanc. Huh? I had a friend, right? Somebody in the comments know who I'm talking about. He told me, yeah, man, like, yo, I because we were talking about Ben Shapiro, and it was like, yeah, man, I've been watching. I watched him go to college camps. He be taking their head off. I was like, do you know who the hell Ben Shapiro is? Huh? And I showed him the clip of Ben Shapiro years ago, where he started trying to recite crime statistics to that black woman, to that young black girl on the college campus, trying to justify why black people should be getting harassed and beat up by cops and all different type of thing. He was like, oh man, I never saw that one. Yeah. Y'all be so I get it. I get it. Look, Mr. Z gets it. I understand. With that, don't go running the complete opposite way out of spite, or because you don't like what you see going on, or because of the politics of the folks or whatever. You're going to mess around and end up in a very, very bad place. What's the name of that LGBTQ brother that's conservative? Kind of chisel chin. But he's LGBTQ, and he went somewhere, and he was surrounded by a bunch of white folks, and they started calling him the N-word. Somebody know who I'm talking about. Conservative brother, LGBTQ. I think he's down here in South Florida too, actually. He might be. He might be down here in South Florida. Huh? And the white folks, because he started chanting something, and then they started calling him N-word. Jesus. No? Nasty work. No? And Vince, once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Let me make sure I miss nothing up this way. Adric, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. I said super sticker. Super sticker. Vegan. Tongue tie like a mug. Super sticker. There you go. Thank you for the super sticker. Ah, is it Rob Smith? Let me see, y'all. Let me see. Is it Rob Smith? We're going to find out right now. Like, y'all give Z a second. We're about to find out. Yep, that's who it is. Rob Smith. Rob Smith. Thank you, Saint Cyr. Rob Smith. Yep, that's him. That's him. Right? There's a video of him walking through. Maybe it looks like maybe a hotel lobby or something. Maybe he might have been outside actually. Because I could barely notice the what was his surroundings. But yeah, so then white dudes started calling him in the N-word to his face. I'm like, bro. And then he did an interview afterward. He was like, you know, this is the racist wing of the party, whatever. What you thought? What? What did you think? Huh? And Lord Lovesmith says, yep, he's in South Florida, Z. Man, they calling this dude all type of N-word to his face. And it was a group of them too. He wasn't gonna be able to fight them off if something went down. Huh? What did y'all think? I always ask, how close to the edge does it gotta be before you're like, oh, okay, this is what, oh, this is what it is. All right. Huh? Yikes. Amazing Lucas had to be in the room with Candace Owens and Tatum to realize, oh, y'all just playing a game with these people for the money. The little African sister that used to be chilling with Steve King. Steve King had to say the most outlandish thing before the Republicans damn near booted him out the party. And they still didn't really boot him out the party. He just lost whatever election it was. Dude on CNN saying Western civilization, and you know he mean white. And they always gave him a way to weasel out of what he was saying. Y'all know what he's saying? Huh? They always gave him a way to weasel out. And then finally he said something so outlandish, we're like, oh, okay, all right. This one we can't make excuses for. Come on, man, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm just saying, look. Hey, y'all better be careful with these folks. I get it. I ain't telling nobody what to do, where to align, or any of that. Mr. Z has been very open about what he thinks and feels. With that, I want to caution us. It's real ugly outside. These people are trying to get a firmer grip, right? They're trying to get a firmer grip. And there's going to be things that they say that you are in agreement with. But do you appreciate their end goal? Do you appreciate where you fit in their end goal? Huh? Thank you, Adric. He was Rob Smith. He was at Turning Point Rally. Jesus Christ. Huh? Yeah. Saint Sarah reading that comment above Adric's comment. That's just that's hysterical. Shout out to Saint Sarah. That's I've never heard that before. Not to smithereens. Oh, that's hysterical. That was the goal. That's why he went. And hey, while you BS and saying sir, he still might have got that look. I gotta find it. It was it's a channel on YouTube and they talk about Triple X stuff, and a brother called in, LGBTQ brother called in. He used to, go to Catholic school and whatever, and he said he used to give top to the pastors, and one of them used to call him the N-word while he was giving him top. And that was a turn on. Don't be surprised if Rob Smith on the same type of time. He might have been scared, or it might have been frightening for him with all of them, being around him and calling him the N-word to his face like that. With that, in his private time with them folks, yeah, he might be turned on by that. I already played for y'all the clip of the black woman who got the white dude arrested for spitting on her because she wanted to play slave play and he didn't, and they got in an argument about it. He ended up spitting on her, which is, I mean, you did say you wanted to play slave play, so I mean, but still, right? And Chef Butter Biscuit says, Z, your phrase, black men will be the ones that drag this country kicking into, I got what you said, but yeah, kicking and screaming into what it says it is on paper really is prolific. We need to expose the model minorities for their fetish of white America, and it has to be on a national scale. Yeah, and what's going to be difficult about that is, well, I'm saying it now, so I might as well. The white folks are going to try to minimize it because for them that's the rightful order of things anyway. You're supposed to worship at them. The clip that I played for y'all of the Latina that's like, we need to learn when she said imperialism from white men and she was all giddy about it. You could tell she was wet in the pants for it, right? Like when you read through the comments, the white dudes are in the comments, boy, they turned on like a mug. They are so turned on by her. Would they wife her? Most of them wouldn't. Would they pipe? Probably. And in the comments is them saying, yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be type talk. So yeah, Mr. Z exposes this kind of white worship because that hinders black people in America, particularly ADOS, FBA's politics. Because you have a bunch of interlopers and buffer class folks who may or may not appreciate that that's all they're doing. That's all you're doing. You're in the way. Huh? You're just in the way. Huh? And if y'all man, I'm telling you, y'all wanna be a little frightened, listen to Curtis Yarvin interviews. I'm starting to listen to Alex Karp interviews. Oh boy. Listen to Peter Thiel interviews. I'm telling you, if you want to be frightened, liberal, progressive, conservative, even libertarian, you want to be a little frightened, listen to how them folks talk. Hey, we be saying the culling, no, but they really mean it though. No, but they really mean it though. Huh? Because in their mind, they're going to be straight. Them and their children, they're going to be straight. Especially the elites, they're going to be all right. All the rest of you, though, oh boy, you better get it how you fit in, get it where you fit in, and get it how you live. Right? And thank you for that super chat, Chef Butter Business. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. But bro, yeah, that's how these people think. That's how these people think. And I speak about the model minority myth. I speak about this kind of white worship, or not only that, very importantly, how it distorts your politics, left or right, because Mrs. Z ain't never gonna say there's not white worshipers on the left. That would be a bold lie. That would be a super lie, right? You have to be careful what you've ingested and the things you advocate for. As I've said before, this is why they say decolonize your mind. I think Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk, was saying on one of his interviews or something like that, Charlie Kirk was saying, what's the point of education? It is to indoctrinate, or something like that. The whole point of education is to indoctrinate you. I think he said to be pro-American, but when you hear pro-American, we're pro-white. Come on, bro. Let's stop. But yeah, like, so you have to be mindful of that, right? I'm mindful of how far I want to go in a response. I know sometimes y'all feel like Mrs. Z ain't going hard enough on a Kim Foster or whoever. But there's a line I won't cross. I won't cross it because now we in the territory of some anti-black stuff. Right? So yeah, we got to be mindful. And I implore my conservative brethren to be mindful. How far you willing to go in a response to these weirdos? Because I call them weirdos too. Oh, okay. And I'm also says, Mr. Z, could you explain the whole PragerU becoming PBS and Candace Owens stuff? So the Candace Owens stuff and PragerU is different than the PragerU and PBS stuff. So apparently they pulled the funding for PBS. I'm not 100% sure about that. I get the details, but there is supposed to be PragerU is supposed to be substituting for PBS. So I heard, right? If that's the case, that is going to be a scary sight because they don't even pretend to be neutral. Huh? Or if they do the whole like fair and balanced, like how Fox News is fair and balanced, and we all know that they're not, even the people that watch it. That's number one. But number two, the thing with Candace Owens and PragerU, she covered slavery. Ooh, how long was that? Like 2-3 years ago, maybe something like that. It might even be longer than that, but like 2-3 years ago, PragerU had her do a segment on slavery, and they started off with like a few minutes of excusing slavery. You know, like slavery is old as 5,000 years ago, and the Egyptians, and you know, white people didn't invent slavery. Huh? Yikes. So Candace Owens and PragerU is different, and that she spoke about that a while ago. I watched it when it first aired, and wow. Um, yeah, what I'm saying is you have to be careful, and now these people are going full on indoctrination without even the semblance of quote unquote just trying to educate and inform the children. No, they want these kids lock stock, you know, anti-black, even if they're black, particularly if they're black, actually. And as a matter of fact, Ben Shapiro, low key, said similar with his debate with Ezra Klein years ago. Uh, so you got to be mindful. Like I said this about um let me go through it. I said this about Patrick Bet David when he debated Roland Martin. I said this about Ben Shapiro when he debated Ezra Klein, and Dr. Boyce Watkins when he debated Yvette Carnell. When they're pressed, they pretty much say, "Why would you want to teach that to the people anyway?" Ooh, goddamn, yeah, you said that, Z. Yep, because they said that. Ben Shapiro said that to Ezra Klein about teaching black people some type of history. I can't, if I remember correctly, I want to say like Ben Shapiro. Oh, wait. Ezra Klein was pressing Ben Shapiro on a part of the debate, and he finally got Ben Shapiro to concede because he was really pressing him. And like Ben Shapiro, people was like, why would you want to teach young black kids that or young black boys that or something like that? Yep, there you go, done. Okay, that's it. Then it's not about truth and it's not about facts. You are pushing propaganda. Okay, fine, we understand that. You're pushing a particular worldview, but you can't frame that like it's just general information or knowledge or education. No, you're pushing indoctrination, right? Okay, cool. So that was Ben Shapiro and Ezra Klein. Next, then there was Patrick Bet David and Roland Martin. And so Roland Martin and Patrick Bet David, when they were speaking about redlining, no, they were speaking about the money that's offered to you for your home and whatnot. I forgot the phrase. I'm trying to get all of this out right now. And Roland Martin kept on pressing Patrick Bet David because Patrick Bet David was minimizing it. Like, ain't no way that um um black homeowners are being offered less money for their home just because they're black. That's not happening. Ain't no way. So Roland Martin kept on going article after article, article after article, and finally he looked up something that showed the actual like investigation into it in the numbers. And Patrick Bet David essentially said, but why would you want to teach that to black people or let black people know that? Boom. There go the second example. Next, there was the debate with um Boyce Watkins and Yvette Carnell. This is back when Yvette Carnell was still rocking the dreads. I think she was still even working for Boyce Watkins, but this was towards the end of that. And they're debating the whole black capitalist thing and whether black people have money like that and et cetera, and how we spend our money and how starting your own business and entrepreneurship. And y'all know Boyce Watkins stands as a finance professor, and y'all know Yvette Carnell stands as a black lefty, LGBTQ sister, um, and to Yvette's credit, she was pressing Boyce Watkins, and he pretty much said, "Yeah, but essentially, I don't want to kill the hope." Boom! That means you're selling a product. You're not just informing. You're selling a product here. You're selling hope, right? Appraisal. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Oh crap! God damn it! I deleted it. My apologies, KW Don. Appraisal. I was trying to press that to highlight that, but yeah, when KW Don said appraisal, that was the word I was looking for, right? So it's very important that when you press these people in a conversation or in a debate, that you get them to concede that they don't care about the truth or the facts or the history. They're selling something, they're pushing something. It's either propaganda, a product, idea or ideology, but it's not the quote unquote just the facts. No, you have an end goal that's more than that, right? Leon said, Boyce Watkins got cooked. Yeah. Yep. For all of us that ever saw that debate. If you look it up, Yvette Carnell was still rocking her dreads. It should still be. It's on Boyce Watkins' channel. Last time I checked, I've watched this. I watched it when it first aired, and I watched it again. Ooh, maybe 3 years ago was the last time I watched it again. Right. So yeah, Toya says all gobbledygook to me. Right, man. It was a yeah. So yeah. And I'm reading through you guys' comments right now. So my apologies for that long-winded ass answer of I am waffles. I answered it and I went into a diatribe about something completely different. And Leon says, and thank you for the super chat. But Z, sins are forgiven in the confessional. Oh, that's disgusting and funny. And Leon's making a reference to what I was saying about the LGBTQ brother talking about him giving the pastor top, and the pastor called him the N-word. I think he said he was a kid. He was a teenager. He was a teenager. That's disgusting, Leon, and funny. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Not the idea though. Thank you for the super chat, but not the yeah, right. I agree with that, Black Uru. I ain't even gonna read the comment out loud. I agree. Right. Oh look. And Louis not supposed to back up Leon. And Louis says, do 7 Hail Marys. Look, what I don't even want to, I'm gonna ask the question anyway, but I don't actually want the answer. Says, what would that entail with the story I told? Ugh, yeah. Ew. Oh man, that's yeah. Right. So yeah, like y'all look, we went way off. Mrs. Z went into a whole PragerU rant. Mrs. Z out here giving warnings. Look, I watch a lot, y'all. Like y'all don't understand. Like I make up for not finishing school by like watching lectures, watching interviews, like of the movers and shakers, right? Like I told y'all, like I saw Alex Cart before. I've seen him before, and then I watched something maybe last week or the week before, and it showed him saying something off the wall, and I was like, oh, I need to look up who dude is. And then I watched something else about Palantir, and it showed him, because I remember like a week or so ago, I was telling y'all, is this dude that he looks like he could be related to Curtis Yarvin, but he has like weirder hair. And so I come to find out that's Alex Karp I'm speaking about. And so last night I spent a little time, watched a couple of interviews, and I'm like, oh crap. Boy, that whole side over there is off the chain. Yeah, man. So yeah, and so I watch a lot of lectures, a lot of interviews when I'm not doing my Black Manosphere thing. That's why I say to y'all, go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I'm not just saying that to y'all. I do that myself, right? Raw, I'm not even gonna read that out loud. That's hysterical. And yes, he did pretty much say that. Yes, he did say that. Oh man. And if you consider the rumors, we gonna leave it there. Don't put it in the comments. Y'all know what they are. Yeah, you would say that. You would say that if we consider the rumors. Unfortunately, the person that tried to put you out there that you might have, gotten down with, he no longer with us. And yeah, but disappeared. Anyway, we're gonna leave that one right there before Mr. Z disappeared. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, you would say that. You would say that, yeah. Yeah. And St. Cyr says, Heritage Foundation boys, Techno Feudalism boys, etc. It's looking real sharky out there, or shaky out there, bro. It's dark as hell outside. Look, I'm in sunny South Florida right now. The sun is out and it is hot, but it is dark as hell outside and it's cold. Huh? It's a cold summer for real. Yikes. Hey, look, Louis, I ain't saying nothing, bro. I ain't saying nothing. Huh? Rest in peace, DMX. And Toya says, it's dark and hell is hot. And I heard it in DMX's voice, too. I heard it in X's voice, too. Right? Yikes. So let's continue. What we playing next? So we gonna play let's play this. Let's play this from what's her name from Breaking Point. She's gonna give her name in a minute. So I'm coming back around to this, the problem with wanting men. Shout out to Compassionate. He sent me the link and everything like that a few weeks ago. Mr. Z is coming back around to it. Like I told y'all, I may not get to what you send me right then and there. It may take me a couple days. It may take me a couple weeks or more, but we're gonna get around to it. We're gonna get around to it. And so this is a few minutes long. Y'all bear with, and we're gonna review it and speak about it. Hopefully I don't end up pausing it. I'm probably gonna end up pausing it throughout and having to play it all over again, because that's probably what's gonna happen. And yeah, we're gonna speak on it. So let's go through this and we'll speak about it on the other end. All right, y'all bear with.
We gotta look at this New York Times story. I teased this up top, but this is F7. We can go ahead and just put the headline up on the screen, because the headline is just wonderful in and of itself. So, the trouble with wanting men. This is an incredibly long essay by someone named Jean Garnett, and it's for the New York Times to run this. I think this is the type of thing that would be run in, like, it's not that I have like the highest esteem for the New York Times, but just the quality of this essay is like something that would have been published in Jezebel circa 2011. It's like a blog level personal essay that drops all kinds of, $1 million words straight out of the seminar sphere. And I've got to find some of them here, and I'm going to share them. There's actually a lot. One of my favorites that gets used, and this becomes the whole basis for the story. Here it is. Yep. So I'm going to share my screen, and you're going to see what I searched to find this word. I was looking for the author's use of the word heteropessimism. Heteropessimism. Here's the paragraph. There are many routes to the species of disappointment I am circling here, but however we get there, the complaint is so common, such a cultural and narrative staple, that the Academy is weighing in. We now have a fancy word, heteropessimism, to describe the outlook of straight women fed up with the mating behavior of men. Pausing right there. No, we don't have a word, because heteropessimism is not a fucking word. Not a word. Just because some, quote, sexuality scholar named Asa Saracen comes up with the word heteropessimism does not mean that we as a collective have the word heteropessimism. Now, according to the author, this sexuality scholar has later amended heteropessimism actually to heterofatalism. And the author says that term seems at first glance to distill a mood that is no less timely for being timeless. I mean, again, like, this is something that, Lena Dunham's character in Girls would have submitted and complained about not getting published because the quality of it was so absurdly low. But here it is, 2025 in the New York Times. And this is the author writing about no longer being with her husband, all kinds of like sexual exploits in the dating circuit, being in an open marriage, then being asked about group sex, and ultimately landing on just this concept of hetero fatalism, which starts as, of course, hetero pessimism. And I can't believe I even continue to say that word as though it's something real. But it's just basically landing on this concept of heterofatalism for the author is being tired of, or stems from being tired of the bad dating behavior of men. And at one point, the author says, I don't want to fall into these traditional traps of waiting for a man to call me back. So this heteropessimism, this is just some helpful advice to the author. This heteropessimism is just heterorealism. Men, until we no longer have such thing as a phone, I promise, will continue to not call you back, even if they should call you back because they're interested in you. This is something she writes about in an experience with a lawyer, that the lawyer is not texting. I think it was a friend, not texting the friend back. They've been on dates have gone well. Your heteropessimism and heterofatalism is really just heterorealism. And to feel fatalistic about reality is such a fascinating glimpse into the progressive worldview, because I also want to mention that men right now, it's not an excuse. I mean, it's not an excuse so much as it's an explanation. Men right now actually behave extra badly, even, worse than, not as though women have bad characteristics, right? So these men's, natural bad characteristics, just like women have natural bad characteristics, are exacerbated right now because they've been under attack culturally for the better part of the last decade, for over the last decade. There are some policy explanations for this, starting with the Obama administration's manipulation of Title IX when it came to investigating. I was in college during all this, by the way. It came to the way that colleges investigated sexual assault, when it came to the way college investigated rape. That changed the entire young millennial dating culture, not just on campuses, but it became off of campuses. There were all of these new sexual politics and standards of consent. This culminated in the Me Too movement with that sort of infamous Aziz Ansari essay. And that kind of really broke the fever. I actually think that particular essay and the conversation around it sort of broke the Me Too fever because it was so obviously wrong. The application of this philosophy was so obviously wrong that it seemed like that everyone kind of was able to think a little bit about what direction we were heading in. And so I suppose to an extent that was good. But for men, and I've covered this as a journalist, even when I was back in college, I was reporting out stories based on the Obama shift of the Title IX guidelines, and talking to people who had been falsely accused and talking to accusers that had real stories. This was demoralizing for men because it stemmed from this broader cultural narrative that was splashed across the pages of every glossy magazine, every blog, and every major media outlet for years about toxic masculinity and about rape culture. And that was, of course, that's demoralizing to men, to be told that you are necessarily engaged in abuse of women, or you're necessarily programmed to engage in the abuse of women because of who you are. It's a fine line, of course, between accepting, this is all happening, by the way, as the same people who are talking about toxic masculinity are trying to erase the distinctions between what a man is and what a woman is, and saying, well, this essential category of male and masculine doesn't even exist anyway, so look away, it's not a thing. So there's always an incoherence in it too, but this is all happening. And men from that, and then also from this period, we covered this when Lena Dunham talked about it a couple of weeks ago. She said when Girls came out, she felt like the culture, there was really this moment where things were looser. She's talking about like body positivity and sexual ethics, that basically it felt like the pinnacle of the sexual revolution is something you could have extrapolated from what Lena Dunham said in that context. And she was really right. And that came with a really confusing set of expectations for men. Women started reacting very negatively to the male sort of in the sexual economy. Women were throwing themselves at men to have what they were told would be fulfilling relationships with, one night stands and all of that. And then women were getting upset at men for not answering their phone calls. And it sounds like some of these same women are still getting upset with men for not answering their phone calls, while also insisting that these emotionally detached relationships are possible and are in fact empowering, and also that men and women aren't really all of that different. So yes, men have been demoralized and confused. So women, by the way, but the idea that men sort of are right now behaving badly in the dating world, first of all, men and women are, like we were just talking about, like men and women always going to be a bridge, right? Everyone's always going to have to find a way to work together. Because men and women are different, and that does create all kinds of natural difficulties between men and women. But also, men now are coming to this having been told that women wanted something that women are slowly discovering they don't want. And is it anybody's fault in particular? There's no like single sex that's guilty, because a lot of this comes, I mean, if anything, it's an ideology that's guilty, an ideology that sort of normalized so quickly significant sweeping changes and told everyone that it was for the better. I think that's the ideology is really what's to blame, because that affected men and women in their own different ways. And, everyone has been running this experiment and realizing that it's actually not great for anybody in real time. And so what was interesting to me about this essay is that it's like taking, I don't know, like 10,000 words to say, this is the last, I'll just do the last paragraph here. The old way of mating is dead, said my friend. I can't. The new one has yet to be born. That's what this friend said. What is the new one? The author asks. Pessimism may help us feel knowing, but really, we don't know. For now, life has us pinned here. Quote, I like to make you wait. I truly don't even know what that means, nor do I think the author know what she means by saying that. But all of these thousands of words later, the final declaration is that the old way of mating is dead. And that's fairly obvious in an age of apps and the sort of total post-sexual revolution, the entire sexual politics after the sexual revolution. I mean, that's, of course, true, but saying the new one has yet to be born and we're waiting for it, like a man makes a woman wait for a phone call, that basically says men are in charge. I mean, I think that's the only way you can interpret the conclusion of this long, winding New York Times essay. And that takes way too much agency away from women. That's when women right now there's a total mismatch among women saying, and you can look at numbers on this that are actually terrifying, women saying that they want to be with someone who makes more money than them and is in a particular socioeconomic category. There's a mismatch of women and men. Colleges right now are heavily female, enrollment is heavily female, so that tells you basically what you need to know about where that is all going. And so some of this is, men need to step up, but women need to think long and hard about what they really want, what their expectations are, and they shouldn't just sit around and wait for dudes to figure it out, because they have a role to play. I can't even believe I had to say that. I mean, it's also very, very quaint.
Okay, so we're going to address that in a minute, but let me read this from Lord Lusman. He says, Z, my biggest frustration with you is that you are fighting an enemy who won't exercise any restraint. There is no lines they won't cross, but here you are making a line that you won't cross. Well, that's for my own humanity. Right. So like that has nothing to do with the women or anyone, to be frank with you, short of like death. Right. Or like threat of death. Better yet. There's a line that I won't cross. That's for me. Right. Like we done battled Cynthia G. Miss Bayings talking about deleting unborn Black male babies because Black men who are in the living essentially didn't build Black women Wakanda, so we must delete unborn Black male babies. Like that's who we've dealt with in the Black manosphere. So my line is for me. That's for my own sanity and humanity. Z Ramen. But that's for me, right? And yeah, there are lines that I won't cross. They could cross because I'm not a toddler. I'm not a 3-year-old throwing a temper tantrum because of what was done to me or not done to me. And I'm mad at the world because Mr. Z doesn't get to gallivant around here like a rich white man. That's Black women's problem, right? Black women are throwing a temper tantrum because they don't get to gallivant around here like upper middle class, rich, and elite white women. And so they spew out their toxicity and they think they're morally righteous and right. And they think that they're justified in that type of rhetoric. I don't speak like that because I don't think there's a justification for that rhetoric, period. Right. So yeah, they'll fly past the line, right? And you have to remember, like, Mr. Z already knows that, the lie is halfway around the world while the truth is still trying to get his shoes on. So I come from that world. I already know that there's lines that I won't cross that they will cross. Right? We watched Terry Nichols dance. I'm sorry, I said Terry Nichols, rest in peace. We watched Paris Hilton dance on Terry Nichols' grave. We watched a bunch of black women twerk on Kevin Samuels' grave. Right? My humanity won't allow for me to do that, even though their lack of humanity will, out of spite. You have black women wearing shirts commemorating Kevin Samuels' death. Right? And that's a line I just won't cross. I'm not gonna walk around here when Oprah passes wearing a shirt that commemorates her death, or name Alice Walker, or Bell Hooks passed. I'm not gonna go make a shirt, and that's cheap. We got places in South Florida that I could get that shirt made for $20, maybe 30. Right? No, that's so the lines. Yeah, there are lines that I won't cross, but that's for my own humanity, my own moral compass. And if the women sit to hell with that, then well, there's hell in there. So right, so they could do that, but I'm not crossing that line just because they crossed that line. Right. So yeah, those folks, that's how they think, that's how they live. And we know, we see Chrissy, we hear all the insanity coming from these people. Poor men don't deserve to have kids. Yeah, I played the clip. The young lady said poor men are evil. Huh? Like, I know how they think. Right? So yeah, like, look, where's the clip? Where's the clip? I think it's here. Go.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Broke men are evil. Okay? They hate themselves for being broke, and they will hate you too. So don't put yourself through that. Now go and do something today that makes you happy.
Sweetheart, I think the word you...
There you go. She said broke, not poor. My apologies. But yeah, broke men are evil. There you go. The other young lady from tonight's conversation said broke men are mean. So broke men are evil, they're mean. Jesus Christ. Like, one thing you gotta love about women is they feel it and they say it and it's fact. Once they feel it, they say it and it's fact.
I think the best relationships, the relationships that last the longest, is when the female is more dominant than the man. I know y'all gonna get in my comments and be like, what? But it's something about that woman being real dominant and mean that's gonna have that man acting right. Like, I have seen it too many times. Like, I can name so many relationships where it's like that. Like, the woman, she don't play no games. She real dominant. And the man is more like passive. Yeah, baby, go along with her. Those are the best relationships. Like, I feel like when you real soft and you a lover girl, it's something about a man that's just gonna dog that. Like, he gonna take advantage. Like, it's just that dog in him. He gonna just take advantage of it. That's how I feel. I know y'all gonna get in the comments and be like, no, it's not like that. We want somebody feminine. No, y'all don't. No, y'all don't. I just... No,
Exactly.
Y'all don't.
She felt it and she said it. And to hell with what you're saying as a man.
I'm talking about 10 plus years relationships has been that woman who don't play no games. And I'm not saying, you should just be mean to your man or whatever like that. But I'm just saying what I have
She
seen.
literally just said that.
That's it. That's all.
So, as I said, they feel it. It's fact. She told you, yeah, y'all might say that's not what y'all want, but that's what y'all want. Okay. Uh-huh. She said, be mean to your man, but I'm not saying be mean. You literally just said be mean a minute before that. You said be mean, then you reeled back and said, no, I'm not saying be mean. You said be mean. Huh? That clip is a minute and a half long. It didn't even take you a full minute. You said be mean, and about a minute later, 60 seconds or so later, you said, I'm not saying be mean. No, you literally just said that a minute ago. So like I said, that, you know, tying that to what I was saying to Lord Lovesmith, I'm not losing my humanity for these folks. For people like this, nah, bro. No, but yeah, I'm putting that artificial line there. It's a line I won't cross. It's a line in the sand for me. I expect the women to sound absolute effing nuts. They're not white women. Of course they're gonna sound nuts. uh, of course they're gonna sound nuts. They're gonna sound absolutely, and I don't even want to say effing nuts. I want to say f nuts. They sound loony. Huh? They sound absolutely loony. Right? So with that, what Emily was saying about that article about the problem with wanting men and the power dynamic and the yes, Emily, because the women don't really mean it. The women have one foot in patriarchy and one foot in feminism. That's why Mr. Z says patriarchy by feminist specifications. If y'all ever hear anybody say that ever, they got it from Z. I don't care if you hear the goddamn president say it, they got it from Z. He got it from Z. Huh? The women are saying, I'm glad y'all actually said it. The women are saying they still want a man that earn more than them, but they're attending college more. Also, when polled, the women are saying that they want men to approach them. They don't want to approach men. Yes, that's the part of patriarchy they want to maintain. The paymaster, the ATM machine, and the protector. The you walk up to me, I'm not walking up to you. That's a man's job. And there you go. How do you want to dismantle systems of oppression, systems of hierarchy? You want to get rid of this gender performance and because that's how the ladies speak. You want to get rid of all of that. Okay, fine. Not really, but okay, fine. But well, I still want men to approach me, and I still want a man to earn more than me. That's part of the patriarchal dance. Huh? Wait, what? Men no longer should no longer adhere to the gendered performance of manhood, but you still want him to approach you if you find him attractive. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? And you want him to earn more than you if y'all get serious. Okay, yeah, that's it. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. The thing is annoying, bro. Like it listening to these folks speak. And shout out to Emily for reading a couple of paragraphs from that article. But yeah, right. And yes, the Aziz Ansari story was especially egregious. Especially was egregious because Homegirl did have the fairy tale type of date. She get with her journalist friend, and they put this out, and they make it seem like it was some Me Too stuff. The Me Too stuff was dubious on its face, and then you add to that with this crap story, huh? Yikes, huh? So yeah, look, I wanted to cover those real quick. Late morning, reckless streams, reckless late morning stream. Why did Mr. Z word it like this? I'm a reword that, by the way. Where's Toya when you need her? What type of grammar? Reckless late morning stream. Nah, I could say that better than that. I could say that better than that. Right. So yeah, look, I had a bit of time. It's still a reckless stream though. It's still a reckless stream, but I wanted to cover this. Shout out to Adric who sent me the thing from Lady Boulay. Like we were celebrating black women losing jobs. I don't know who she's speaking about because everyone that I watch used it as a cautionary tale, and at most I told you. But no one was celebrating watching black women lose. Huh? Well, it wasn't afternoon yet, Joe's, when I started streaming. Ha 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 ha. Right? It was definitely late morning. Afternoon literally means after 12. Right? Ah, yeah. And Black River says he still has not recovered from it. Yeah, that was a hit piece. That was a hit piece on Aziz because this date didn't go the way Homegirl wanted to because he wanted to pipe. And because you didn't have the like for all of us that ever saw the stand up with Aziz, when he was speaking about, being an R. Kelly fan and whatnot, and this was before the whole, debacle a few years ago. Like Aziz was on some freaky R&B stuff. So they went on a date. He was trying to get his handle some business. He went on the date. He paid for the date. He asked her to go back to the hotel. Oh, not the hotel, to his place. She said yes. She went. They exchanged the fellatio. Goddamn Z. Huh? But when it's time to pipe, she said no. He said, all right. He tried one more again. She said no. All right, then. Then she felt uncomfortable. Then he's like, are you okay? Then she was like, okay. And then got her an Uber, sent her ass home. Next day, she said, I didn't really like it. It felt uncomfortable. He was like, oh, my bad. I didn't know. I thought everything was all cool. And she was like, no, not really. Then she got with her journalist friend and do this damn hit piece. And that hit piece showed you who was who. You even had white women that's like, bro, that was just at best, at worst, better yet, that was a bad date. All this other stuff, you can't link this to Me Too. He didn't grape you. You went willingly. When you said you was ready to go, he let you go. And then you had the other ones. Well, he tried to press on her, and there you go. There you go. And like this is like they didn't say emotionally intelligent from like the coverage that I saw of it. They weren't saying that he wasn't being emotionally unintelligent, but it was that type of language, right? Huh? So yeah. Yeah, he didn't recover from that because you really don't hear from him, and he was on the upward trajectory. Huh? Dare I say it? It's possible he would have been Hassan Minaj. Like he's not as tall as Hassan and whatever, but they could have been like similar, like peers of like that Indian descent kind of. And nope. When they said is it space? No, I can't remember how the quote goes, so I can't even use it. Anyway, but there you go. So now it's Hassan Minaj, but it's very possible that could have been Aziz, right? So no, Black was right about that. He hasn't recovered that, but yeah, all because whatever stupid ass Disney fairy tale princess crap you had going on in your mind didn't work or go exactly the way you wanted it to go. Damn, destroyed this man's career. Wow. So tying that to the article and to what Emily was saying, yeah, it slowed men all the way up. I keep saying this. You goddamn feminists, you technocrats, if this is where y'all going, and the direction y'all want to go in, which Mr. Z doesn't suggest, then y'all have to be honest, because y'all say to the men what we won't get. You say to the men and the boys what we won't get, what's not guaranteed to us. And then men come out here with these hypocritical asshole women, and you could tell they are not being told what they won't get. That's why Mr. Z, I'm going to say this like forever, apparently. Patriarchy by feminist specifications, because you could tell the women don't appreciate what they won't get with this new whatever the hell this is. And like Emily was saying, I've been mentioning the social contract. The women are like, I guess the ones I guess kinda in the know are waiting for the new whatever the dance is gonna be between men and women. Have you considered there won't be no goddamn dance? Huh? Have you considered that? Y'all torched the old social contract between men and women, and what women want, that's why Mr. Z keeps on spamming that goddamn protect, provide, and shut up button. Because that's what they truly want. Protect, provide, and shut up. Huh? That's the dance they want to engage in, and we're just not doing it. It ain't happening. Huh?
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
That's the goal here. If Emily is saying, and the studies show this, she's correct, that women say they want men that earn more than them. We know they want men to initiate. So you want those things that come from patriarchal male performance. But what you don't want is for him to have the last word. What you don't want is for him to do less hot work in the home, right? Less chores in the home. Wait a minute. So how is the math supposed to math? You want to outcompete men for school. You want to outcompete them for jobs and promotions and opportunities. And somehow, magically, even though you're outcompeting all men except for who? Your husband? What drugs are y'all on? You're gonna outcompete all men except for your future husband. Once again, no one's telling these women what they won't get. You can have equality and hypergamy at the same time. No? I get what you're saying, Toya. And Toya says, but Z, I wanted to ask him to the Sadie Hawkins dance. Did you want him to ask you to the Sadie Hawkins dance, Toya, or did you want to ask him? Huh? Yikes. See, and this is what I'm saying. And Mr. Shakti says, we all equal now. Every man and woman protect and provide for themselves. Let the games begin. These people are weird. Ah. Leon says, a Negro like me don't dance. I pull up my pants and walk away. Now lean back, lean back, lean back. Ice Cube said, gangsters don't dance, they boogie. That's what Ice Cube said. That's what Cube said. Huh? Gil Gammy says, different but equal, but different but better, but equal but same but different. Oh man, I need to bring that back. I need to put that back on my on the back of StreamYards. I had to take it down. I had to make space. I said to y'all yesterday that I upgraded my StreamYards. I'm gonna downgrade again because what I really need is space for more video clips. And I upgraded. I doubled what it cost me, and I still ain't get more space for videos. Absolutely not. I ain't doing it. That's the only real reason. I need more space to put more stuff. Yeah. Nope. 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 Right. So yeah, no. I wanted y'all to see these things. I want to comment on them. Um, yeah, that article, the problem with wanting men, then go munch on each other then, huh? Yeah. No, I know about the Sadie Hawkins death. I know the dynamic of the Sadie Hawkins death. And Toya says traditionally a girl would ask a guy to the Sadie Hawkins, but if there is no dance, what's a gal to do? Ah, I guess she can always have a sleepover with her girlfriends. There might be a pun in that word, girlfriends. I mean, if you're not going to the school dance, the school Sadie Hawkins dance, then the Sadie Hawkins, then I mean, nowadays they could go on a girls trip. I mean, if you're an adult, clearly, right? Ah, so yeah, that's ah. So on that note, y'all, we'll pause right here. I done talked y'all head off enough, and yeah, this is not gonna work, right? This is not gonna work. Oh, did I want to leave y'all with the last funny? Oh, here go the last funny, y'all. Here go the last funny. Here go the last video. Here you go.
Crazy about this generation now? These bitches actually call niggas tricks and don't consider themselves whores. Right? That's crazy, right?
I've never put the correlation together.
You have to, bro. It's a trick. Is a pimping crazy.
So I'm gonna start trying to end this out with like a funny. So y'all send the funny clips, the funny videos, pertaining to kind of the stuff that we talk about. It could be political stuff too. Y'all already know Mr. Z's channel, but like y'all could send that to the email or whatnot, or put it in the comments. And I'll try to get to it. But yeah. So yeah, look, it's the way he took his. I gotta play one more again for y'all because it's the hat for me. It's the hat. Shout out to the ladies. It's the hat for me. You know, it's funny because he took his hat off and it was funny. But when you really like, wait a minute, how you calling me? But I didn't even really think about it like that. Like for real though. Once again, one more Genzi.
Crazy about this generation now? These bitches actually call niggas tricks and don't consider themselves whores. Right? That's crazy, right?
I've never put the correlation together.
You have to, bro. It's a trick. Is a pimping crazy.
That is a great question, I am Waffles. Yosi, if you had your law license, how would you utilize it? What would be your field of practice as a lawyer? Ooh. Some type of male advocacy, whether it's working with poor and underprivileged young men like juvie court or whatnot, defending them. If it's not, if not a divorce attorney for men in particular, maybe working for the Innocence Project, right? But a lot of that stuff they take as pro bono, so which I would probably do pro bono, so something along those lines, particularly for Black men, obviously. Yeah, right. That would probably be my right, and like appreciating and knowing that it may not be because it's not the most lucrative route, right? Like there was far more lucrative routes I could take, but especially if I could like afford my life and the Z, of course, and modifying the Z, but of course, yeah, that'd be okay. If I could take care of me and mine and make sure my kids are good and my lady's good, I don't really need to be rich and stuff. Go on my 2 vacations a year type thing, right? Because I do believe, um, unless you have that bug, that there's some of us that there's a line that what you care about is more important than the money, right? Which is which the market, a neoliberal understanding of society is always going to tell you to go after the money. Like the money is the motive. And there's not like it just for the sake of having it, right? But I think if you're advocating for black men, you have to understand there's pretty much no money there, right? There's pretty much no money there. And that has to be something you're okay with. You have to know that going in. Huh? So yeah. Black Uber said family law. KW Don says paternity fraud. That's another one, right? Huh. So yeah, that would be the law, probably the direction I would go in. Hmm. Wow, Leon. And Leon put a link here that says the Daily Caller finds that researcher corn, so research done on corn featuring violence against women is more popular among women than men. Bro, I gotta find this clip. I watched this, ooh, oh my god, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 10, maybe 7, 8 years ago, maybe 6. And no, it could be longer than that. I think it was longer than that. No, it was longer than that. It was longer than that. It was this. They were just asking women about different power dynamics or whatever the hell. It was this random, more petite white woman, excuse me. She might have even been a redhead, but I don't recall. And she was like, she wants to one day have aggressive triple X fun. She's never had it. Um, and she wants to give up control in that environment, in that, time. And she's never had that. And she wants that. She wants to experience what that's like. And she was speaking about female empowerment and how she, she's about that. She's a feminist, but she does want to, for once, experience that. And yeah, I believe it, Leon. I believe it. They're a walking ball of contradiction, bro. They're a walking ball of contradiction. Recall also, what's the Oscar Wilde quote? The everything in life is about triple X fun, except for triple X fun. Triple X fun is about power. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? And if that quote stands to be true, if it's true, then you out here playing pretend with your heels and your work skirt and your right and you get to be powerful in your job because you got the promotions and you're whatever manager, but then when you get home you will be choked out and slapped on the ass. Just saying. Oh, I didn't know about that. And Eviscerator says, didn't Billie Eilish admit she was into the violent corn too? I did not know about that. Yeah, I didn't know about that. No. And I'm also says, Z, last question though. How do you think the BreadTube space, FD, Juicy, Foreign, etc., will respond to the brother St. James, brother Jeff St. James, I get what you said, when he gets big enough, eventually? That's a good question. I want to put a I don't know there, and say, it remains to be seen. Maybe minimize him. That's my default answer, is to minimize him, to find any type of holes in his argument and what he's saying, um, to make ad hominem attacks, to call him Kevin Samuels Jr. And he already said that, he already had people calling to see whether he was certified and whatnot, and calling into question his education and whatnot. To be expected. You already know how these systems be moving. I expect that, and that's if they even acknowledge him, right? Yeah. So yeah. I won't be surprised. The eviscerator says, if I find it, I will send it to you. If you're talking about what I was referencing, that's gonna be difficult to find, bro, because I saw that. What I'm referring to, I saw that. Ooh, it's been a. I want to say a decade ago, but it may not have been a full decade ago. The clip I'm talking about, where it's women, different women talking, and it was, yeah, a petite white woman who said pretty much she wants to experience aggressive triple X fun, right? Um, but she's never had that, and I think that's a thing, right? Huh. Let me read that because I have something to say about that. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Leon says, so Tyler album flopped and Ole is blaming Black Americans on the diaspora wars for a South African race that doesn't identify as Black. LOL. We don't owe mixed race people poop. Look, let me say this about the Tyler thing. We said you're Black, and if you said you're not, then we owe you nothing. You came to you should have, if that was the case, you should have went to the UK market then. The Canadian market. If Black Americans say you Black over here and you say, then that's the end of the conversation. We owe you nothing. Go get it from the white folks. Go get it from the UK Black folks, the Canadian Black folks. Go get it from the Brazilian Black folks. Go get it from the South African Black folks. You from South Africa. Go get it from the coloreds in South Africa. Ooh, goddamn. You said you're colored in South Africa. We said you're Black in America. You said, no, I'm colored. All right, bet. Watch this. Ole could say whatever she want. Ole could say whatever she want to say. If Black Americans, because this one wasn't exclusive to ADOS, if Black Americans say that you Black in America and you say you not, all right, then go get the money from somewhere else. Go get the fame from somebody else. She's cute enough. She's talented enough. Huh? Rihanna knew better. Ooh, goddamn Z. Huh? Rihanna was out here like a mug, but when it comes to that Black stuff, when it comes to being Black, now she was getting paid from all different type of whoever's, but uh, if you say no, in South Africa it's different. We come to okay then. Ole could say whatever she want. I want to stress that to everyone. When you come to America, you have a decision to make on who you go align with. And if you have your middle finger up to ADOS FBA and Black Americans, um, in a larger sense, then you get what you get. Huh? If her album ain't sell, because I heard about her album flopping. She's a cute girl. She got talent. Black Americans don't owe her nothing. And that's if we even go off of that. Like, who's selling albums like that right now? Like, who's doing numbers? I know a few people are doing numbers, but who's doing numbers right now? Huh? Yikes. Yeah, because he know better, and he don't even mess with Black women like that. Oops! But even though he be advocating for him, yikes. Gil Gabby says Trevor Noah, her compatriot, shows the Black side openly. He even said it in one of his stand-up skits. Yeah, he was speaking about how when he was in the airport, and he like Dominicans think he's Dominican, such and such people think he's this and that. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on the stand-up. Right? You're in America. We said you're black. You know how much passes you could have got? You should, Mr. Z about to say, oh, I'm not even going to do that. Um, you know how many passes you could have got? You say, yeah, in South Africa, they consider me colored, but I understand that in America, I'm black. And then you go on and you make your music, and then you go end up with the white dude that you wish you was with. Ooh, goddamn, Z, stop doing that. Look, man, if y'all don't see what's coming with her yet, give it some time. Anyway, TikTok, right? But you and your people was debating it and arguing it. So, they left you out here, and now you out here. Huh? So, yeah. And Cyrus Burke says, because I got to end out in a minute, let me hear him read this so he can hear me read this because he's been listening to 1.5 speed. He said, 1.5 speed gang. Just so that you know, Z, I heard your acknowledgement of the beginning, and I appreciate it. Once you log into my Twitter and look through the bookmark folder, you'll see it's over. Look, you send that again because when you sent it, I tried to log in and I don't know, like it didn't allow me to do that. So when you catch up, you'll see that I asked that question. But yeah, something was wrong. Like I need, you already know, passwords, logins, whatever the hell, whatever you feel comfortable with, and I'll go through it and see what you have there, and we might cover some of the stuff. Yeah, so there's that. And once again, Cyrus Burke, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right. Mino Black Poppy, hysterical, right? I know Black delivered. Look, I don't know where these people come with this stuff from, where people tell you what it is, you say no, and then you think they owe you something after that. Ain't nobody owe you nothing after that. Right? Mr. Z could have did that. Well, I couldn't do that. I know Black. Like, I'm clearly Black. But Mr. Z could have did that. I'm not Black like those Black people. Look, Mr. Z's Asian descent. Look, respectable and everything. My parents are still married, and I'm right. Absolutely not. No. Yikes. And Telescope says, that's not the one I wanted to read, but I'll read it. 95% of my ADOS family is quote unquote colored by Tyler's logic. Nope, not here, sis. You see what I'm saying? Telescope, like, look, half of us is mixed with some type of something, and lighter skin, and like I say waffle colored all the time. Waffle colored, and no, we ain't claiming that colored type of weirdness. Right? And Joe said, Black Americans owe coloreds nothing. Look, if you call yourself colored in America, first of all, if you're Black and you call yourself colored, what year are we in? We got to be in like 1950 something. Huh? If you're in America and you're calling yourself colored, we've got to be in the 1940s or 50s. Number one. Number two, as a Black person in America calling yourself colored and then referencing the South American, I'm saying South American, excuse me, South African color system hierarchy, and we tell you, yeah, that's not how it goes here, and you try to push it, then you on your own. Do people appreciate that? Like, people don't owe you nothing when they tell you, hey, these are my lines, these are my boundaries, and you cross the line and boundaries, they owe you nothing. If they still look out, you got lucky, great. But if they don't, they told you what their line and their boundary was. Black Americans, I saw the clip. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw the clip, the part of the interview when she was on the Breakfast Club. They tried to make it very clear to her. You offer too much pushback, it's done. The conversation's done. Go get it from the white folks then. Huh? Yikes. So on that note, y'all, look, Mrs. Z got to end out for real, for real. So we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, y'all. I'm reading the last bit of y'all comments. Yeah. All right, everyone. So Mr. Z out. Shout out to Louis for the intro. Right. Um, I'll make the intro the outro. We'll do the intro as the outro also. And shout out to Louis. Red Pill Sleeper Cell. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out. So let me do. Am I gonna do it like this? I'm gonna do it like this. Here we go.